I meant to make this video while I was replacing my headlights in my Nissan with some 55 watt HID bulbs, but I never got around to it, so now I'm stuck with trying to explain it through a really tight fit here. But I bought some 55 watt HID bulbs off of eBay. I did a lot of research and came across a brand called Innovited that I was really happy with, and I've been happy with ever since I've had these. And so I went with those, and I'll post a link in the description. But I've had really good luck with them so far, and I haven't been blinding people. I did not do the retrofit HID projector housing, so I don't need to hear any comments about that. I already know all about that, and I didn't want to spend the money. I spent $60 on these headlights, and I've been really happy, and I haven't been blinding people. So anyway, so I could never find any good video of how to take the headlights out, and so hopefully that's what this video is going to accomplish. So if we look down the way here, if I get these wires out of the way, you'll see right there there's a rubber housing, a rubber seal, a little plastic ring, and then a black piece, which is actually the back of the HID bulb that it twists. That's the headlight, and the way this gets disassembled, and I had a hard time figuring this out, but you'll have to first remove the connector. This is actually the connector right here, and the clip is right here, so there's a little tab on the top. You'll have to push that down and pull it straight out. Because my vehicle's only a year old and I've never removed it, it was really hard to get off, and so you really have to get your hand back there and press down hard and pull hard. I'd recommend taking off the air filter housing arm here. Just lift this tab up, and then it comes out of there and just lifts away. That gives you a lot more room to work with, so I really recommend doing that. But after you remove the connector, you'll want to remove the plastic ring by turning it, let's see, that'd be counterclockwise. So you need to turn it this way once it's snapped out, and that was hard too the first time getting it off, but after the first time it's off, it's really easy, but you really have to get a good grip in there. Turn it counterclockwise. So then once you remove that, you'll have to remove the rubber seal, and that just pulls off. And there's a marking on the top that says top, that way you get the orientation right when you're putting it back. But once that's off, then you're free to take the bulb out, and the factory bulb just pulls straight out. When you install the HID bulb, it's actually going to be a little different, and I'll show the passenger side over here. This one's tricky. You're going to lose a little bit of blood getting the bulb in and out, but that's the fun of it, right? So anyway, it's a lot harder to see over here on this side. Same concept, it's right there. It's hard to see, I'm sorry. Anyway, same concept. You need to first remove the connector, then you're gonna turn the ring counterclockwise, and then you're gonna remove that plastic ring, and then remove the rubber seal. So back to the HID bulb, what you're gonna have to do is you're gonna have to take the locking ring that comes around the bulb and remove that completely and put that in place first, and then you're gonna have to put the locking, the rubber seal back on, and then the locking portion first before putting the bulb in. And this is where I had troubles trying to figure out the right way to put it in, but where you took the ring off first and then took the bulb out, you don't want to put the bulb in and then put the ring on. You want to put the ring on first and then put the bulb in last. The bulb was the very last thing you put in, and so I was kind of confused on how that fit in there, but finally I figured it out, and it fits perfectly in there. So anyway, over here on the driver's side, I ran the positive to right there, there was no very good grounding point, so I ended up using the negative terminal. In a pinch that'll work, but if you can find a grounding point on your chassis, that's typically better practice, but this will work. It came with a relay, and I'd suggest getting one that comes with a relay. You got a fuse. So anyway, the wire, then I ran it up underneath this here and zip tied it just to make sure it didn't come down, and then over to this other side. My ballast sits underneath there, tucked away in a nice spot, and then that ballast is tucked away in a nice spot over there as well. So I did have to, on the harness that came with this, the reason why this right here is electrical taped and looks kind of sketchy, even though it's really not as sketchy as what it looks. I do have proper terminals butt crimped on there and pushed in where they need to be. But the factory blue connector that came with this kit, and I'll show a picture of that at the end of the video, I did have to reorient 2 wires. There's a common problem on some vehicles that the high and the low beams are either flipped around or they won't turn on. The high beams just won't turn on. These are Bi-Xenon bulbs, so the high and the lows work. Basically, probably because this is a Japanese vehicle, I don't know, they have wires flipped around, whatever. So basically I just had to switch around 2 wires, and then that got the high and the low working. Basically it's just a detection wire that in most vehicles is oriented one way, and it just happens that if it doesn't work in your vehicle, you gotta flip them around. So that's the case. That was the case for me, at least, and I've read other people that haven't had that issue. But with the Innovited kit that I bought, you know, I would probably say that you'd have to switch those around. But anyway, I'll include some night shots. Over here, the grounding point that I chose was right here, around another grounding point that was being used. So that worked out very well on this side. So anyway, I'll include some night footage, and let me know what you guys think. Check out my other video on how to replace the alligator bulbs with LED lights. They look really nice. So anyway, thanks guys.